There's a big difference between being anxious and being stressed about a work event, something going on in your life, a decision that needs to be made, and anxiety disorder. For most people, when the event is over, when the decision has been made, it's fleeting. Those feelings go away. But for those of us that suffer from anxiety, those feelings never go away. When the life event is over, when the decision is made, those feelings don't go away. They just transfer to something else. And it's constant. It is every part of our lives. And we have these fears that catastrophe is always right around the corner. And for those of you that don't suffer, this is going to sound ridiculous, that the worst possible outcome is the only outcome. But in those moments, it's 100% truth to us. And we get frustrated when you don't understand. So one of the things that would happen quite a bit, aside from when I talked about my honeymoon, is I had a boss that I really liked. Great guy, love him to this day. But I was scared of him. He's a boss. Always scared of my bosses. There would be times that I would call him on the phone. And his assistant would say, he can't talk right now, he's going to call you back. From the time my phone left my ear to me hanging it up, the lie that my brain was telling me was that he's mad at me, I'm going to get fired, we're going to lose the house, my wife's going to leave me, I'm going to be living in a one-room apartment for the rest of my life. And that was my truth. And I froze up. I'm completely frozen because I don't know what to do next. Because now I have to save my job, I have to save my house, I have to save my marriage, and I don't know which one to fix first. Because do I go get ads? Do I try to fix this? But can we afford the house on one salary if I lose my job? If my wife leaves me, where am I going to live? Because I don't know what Starbucks pays. Because how am I going to afford to have an apartment? And you freeze. I'm completely frozen at that point. And you're going to hear me talk a little bit today about the physical feelings of mental illness. And we all know that mental illness can be thought of as an invisible disease. It doesn't show up in a scan, doesn't show up in an x-ray, doesn't show up in blood work, you don't get a rash. But make no mistake that there are physical feelings that come with mental illness. And a lot of times it's our first sign of trouble. So in those moments, I feel physically sick. That knot in my stomach is tightening even more. And I am trying to figure out how to keep my life from crashing. But I can't move. I'm frozen. And it'll be 3 hours later until my boss calls back, and I'll quickly realize whatever it was that I was believing was totally false. And then I'm embarrassed because this is the same thing I felt last week, it's the same thing I felt the week before, and the week before that, and I can't stop it from happening.